Hey everyone, just want to give you some tips on how to use the 1 minute and the 5 minute vector on your chart, either TradingView or Thinkorswim, in conjunction with the context of where price is for the day. So, what I mean by that, this is our session for today, 428.25. And we're going to use the context of where price is at in order to help us understand what's happening with the vector. So, and price in relation to the vector. So, for example, if we were up here at the high, and we know it's a high because we look at the previous session, and that is a high as well. We have to take that into consideration in properly interpreting what's happening with price in relation to the vector. Similarly, in terms of logic and reasoning with the low, if we are near the low, we use that context of being at a low in relation to properly interpret what's happening in relation to the vector. So, for example, if we were at the high and breaking through the vector, breaking down, then we could have some understanding that, okay, we might be returning back to an area where price has more business. There is more transactions happening at this price. This is a concept that is can be understood better with studying TPO and volume profile. So, but still, with the vector, to understand side exits and tabletops and using the 1 minute and the 5 minute in particular, for getting into a trade, what you could have done today is context. Around 1 o'clock or 12 to 1300, we were at a low. How do I know we are low? Again, we are near a low of previous session, and just in general, the whole range for the day. We were at a low. If it was up here and there's nothing that had happened from here, we were at a low, but we were getting closer to a previous low. And as we were consolidating here, what we could see is that the 1 minute vector was telling us that there were some attempts for a side exit, but it kept on breaking down. And again, be mindful that from 1100 to 1300, it's basically that lunchtime. There's going to be probably some consolidation, some range, some tests, unless there's a really strong move or trend for the day. But what you could have done is just wait during this time period, because if you were to try to jump in on these 1 minute side exits, it would have come back down on you continuously. These are good scalps, yes, but again, you have to be mindful of the fact that if you're trying to get in on a scalp, how do you really measure a proper scalp? 30, 40, 50 points? Because you could have gone all the way up to just about 70 points, and that scalp is pretty big. But at the same time, you have to be careful to wait for a particular time where the vector gives you proper confirmation for a strong move that could give you longer, larger hold and trades. So we had almost pretty much a side exit here, moved up, but then came back down. And when it moves up, it's really not that much in relation to what's been happening previously. We're getting lower highs and lower lows. And so use that information to understand we're probably going to come back and revisit this 1 minute vector. On top of the fact that this 1 minute vector is giving you additional details with what's happening on the 5 minute vector. The vector's catching up to price action by moving down, and it might have looked like there would have been a crazy side exit up here. But if you waited for an intersection between price and the vector on the 5 minute, you would have seen that it was failing to break above it, and we did not get a clear side exit. If you would have seen this on the 1 minute, it looked like there was going to be a side exit here on the 5 minute in conjunction with the 1 minute, but there really wasn't. And so it was trying to break, nope, and then came back down, tested it, came back down to test this low. So if you were going to try to get in here, that would not have been as good as getting in here on this side exit. This is a real side exit. We got green candles, and ride this on the way up. This is not a real side exit. It would have appeared like a side exit at one point real time, but when you wait for candle close and see it's breaking down again to test this low, find support, confirm support, Then you would have waited a little bit longer and seen this side exit. And then when you get on here, you get not only a better entry by about what, 15, 10, 15, almost 20 points. Then you would have set a stop at this low instead of this low. Because if you got in too early on a non-confirmed side exit, this stop would have been hit if you would have set it immediately at this low. But if you got in and waited at a proper side exit, then this stop would not have gone hit. And it would have been tighter and better entry. Super ideal situation. Break 5-minute side exit on the 5-minute. And then the 1 minute would have agreed, but the 5-minute would have lined up with the 1 minute. With these side exits, the 5-minute had not yet appeared. This is where we start actually seeing agreement between the 1 minute and the 5-minute. And then the 1 minute, because that revises quicker than the 5-minute, it moves, providing support almost tabletop, but you basically get this staircase confirmation of trend into the end of the day, and you're holding. And so really, really important to use the vector on multiple time frames to give you proper confirmation to get in or wait, and measure the cleanness of your side exits with support on the vector between the 1 minute and the 5-minute. So I hope that's helpful. Let me know what you think, and hope the vector could be utilized in a clearer manner for your trades on getting in, waiting, and not getting in too early.